Wait, what? Did you hit play?
No, I hit stream.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Hit play.
Alright.
Hey there, welcome back everybody. I am Pseudo, this is Sea Monster. I brought him on today because he's a little bit more of an authority in PvP than I usually am. So we're going to be doing light commentary over this new push game mode they debuted. And this is definitely our first time recording this, no really.
Yeah, for sure. What's up? I'm Sea Monster. Happy to be here. First time here.
So we did watch this before, but honestly we talked over a lot of the rules, and I feel like getting a bit of a less talky, more professional thing. We'll do a little bit of a post show what we think about it. It's a better place to put a lot of our commentary, but they do ramble a fair bit, especially when they're playing. So we'll have some time to do commentary. But the game mode, honestly, as far as what we were expecting, looks pretty fun. It looks pretty good. It looks also pretty alpha, like they said. Um, Very much an unfinished thing, but that kind of gives me hope because I've been a big proponent of them just trying stuff for a really long time.
Yeah. I am really excited. I think it's huge for PvP for them to be showing something this early, this much in development. I think they mentioned in the blog post that they did the opposite with Stronghold, and so I'm glad they're learning lessons from that, and they're actually showing us the concept before it's all set in stone and they've invested assets into it.
Yeah, Cal talks about that in a little bit of the stream. And fair warning, they do ramble a little bit in the intro. So if you guys want to just skip ahead to where they actually start jump into the game and showcase the actual gameplay and the rules and stuff, I will have all of that timestamped in the description as well, so you can just skim through it in the VOD. But I'm hopeful. One of my big worries going into this was that you would just sort of 5-stack Scourges or whatever's meta, Spellbreaker, Firebrand, whatever happens to be the thing. I think there's a decent amount of room for evolving flexibility of builds as far as it goes, because we actually, we were like, what if this was good? What if this was good as we were watching it? And it was really interesting. Like, what if portals are good? Get back to the point and stuff.
Yeah. I do think there will be some interesting. Hopefully, it won't just be like the best conquest team fight and you just run that and stalemate everything. I do think there will be some interesting space for things that aren't good in conquest to shine here.
What's interesting is I feel like a lot of the AoEs that you drop on conquest points are stationary, like
Yes.
Dragon Hunter traps and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and the point moves fairly fast, as we'll see. Late spoilers, I guess. So, you definitely need to keep up with it, as well as be able to pressure your opponents. And the side objectives look okay, but I feel like there's a little bit of room for iteration on those as well, especially if they end up doing more than one map for this.
Yeah.
But damage is always good. It's interesting. It's interesting. They're clearly just playing whatever in the VOD. But it's kind of, this game mode is intended as a introductory feeder game mode to Conquest. They like Conquest. They want people to keep playing Conquest. So we'll see how effective it is in that goal. I do wonder where their goals lie. I hope that fun is at the top, and then that is maybe secondary, because the fun one is kind of the big one for me. It doesn't always need to be fun, but, it helps.
I think this specifically really needs to be fun. They need a very fun, very casual PvP mode to just dip into to get people comfortable with like PvP balance.
It is funny that they were like, this is casual. There are colored titles for it.
Yep.
Sure, it is ArenaNet.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, this will, if you guys didn't know, we're also getting a beta for this just before we start here. Got a 1 minute. For starting on Tuesday, there's a balance patch preview next Friday as well. So tons of competitive Guild Wars 2 stuff next week. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be crazy. We'll definitely be doing a stream for that and talk about that and stuff. Huge balance patch enthusiast, as you know. So it's going to be good. Janther Wild's very fun. Spears are overperforming, and it's interesting. Interesting times to be Guild Wars 2 fans, but I'm digging it. You have any thoughts before we get into this?
Yeah, I think they've been doing a lot of good work. I really like the new approach the team's taking to communicating, to iterating, to
the
developing.
communication is tops.
Yeah, it's a different ArenaNet. It's a different Guild Wars. I love personal housing, so I'm just happy about everything right now.
Oh, giant Minecraft nerd. All right. It's interesting that they have like different homesteads in the preview thumbnail here than the one you get. Just
I think it's just the concept art,
using
right?
them
It
that
looks the same to me.
you'll be able to gem store different house giant
Yeah.
houses.
I do hope that happens. The different
All right, let's go.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Alpha. Really, truly dislike each other. One reason just to but anyways, yes, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be showing off the push. Mark is joined today by Kyle Cohen and Taylor Brooks. Wow, that's very exciting. Very just woke up. It's very early on the West Coast. And,
It's like noon.
but yes, Kyle, please.
Yeah, I guess we can just start talking. So basically, the stream today, we're gonna talk for a little bit with three of us here. And then we'll be playing one or two games to show you guys how it works. So just get like a little sneak peek at gameplay. Basically, this will be going live next week. We're running mini season.
We got 2 weeks to beta test this. It's just only top 250 who gets the title.
Everything goes well.
Yeah, that's usually how the mini seasons work. That's like a very smart title for PvPers though. You never stop pressing W.
So, as mentioned, block post.
Called W. Honestly, they joke about this, but I almost wish they did. Like, read the blog post and do like little, I didn't include this or I could have said this.
I mean, yeah, it actually would be good content for them specifically to do. Also, it'd be a pretty funny running gag if they just had random people from a different office.
Don't even work at ArenaNet, just read it.
Yeah. Do hope the SoundCloud stays. Interesting they say that because it looks like a Guild Wars 1 style map.
This is such a good idea. I'm serious. I know it sounds sarcastic, but genuinely, just do stuff.
No, I'm really
Or
happy
you
about
invest,
this approach.
thousands of development dollars into it.
Mm-hmm.
I do worry that, it'll teach you how to press buttons, right? But he mentions learn how to play your build, and if your build is like completely different from like a roaming build that you should be playing in Conquest, I don't know how effective that's going to be for a new player, but maybe.
I mean, I get that, but also the safest place for a new player to be in Conquest is the team fight. So I think it's fine to have a team fight focused game mode to introduce people. I think it's much easier to throw as a new player and get yelled at if you're playing a roamer or side noter.
Or just run around without any idea what to do.
Yeah.
But a lot simpler. One major thing we saw in the videos was that introduce
When you think about it that way, this is sort of just conquest with one moving point.
Yeah. I mean, this game, a King of the Hill game mode would be very healthy for this game, and this is kind of that with a few extra steps.
I just feel like they should call it conquest with one moving point.
Contest. I do like if they keep these side objectives, or even just for the mini season, it'll actually teach people what the buffs on Coliseum do. I do really
So
like that
that's
they
something
added
we
this
missed
catch-up
before.
mechanics. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a center mechanic that will give you bonus power that appears sort of like Roshan in League of Legends or something. It's interesting. Because the point moves around, and Roy's mentioning like there need to be side objectives that are impactful enough to get you to deviate from just the one team. The one team fight might be on the side of the map.
Yeah. It is good that this is in before the kind of alpha test, because that was the biggest thing I was worried about not existing.
I hope he's not serious.
That little smile made it seem like he does actually retort it a lot, and he's trying not to.
I can never tell. Yeah, apparently Cal is openly inviting DM him on Discord.
Yeah, DM Cal on Discord, tweet at Roy. That's how you get your
These
feedback.
all
through
sound
this
like
game,
the worst ideas. Not harass these people.
but just straight up email their work emails.
Them a handwritten letter.
Yeah.
Without a telegram. There's got to be a service that sends telegrams these days or something.
Yeah, fax it to them. Send a telegram. Send some pigeon mail.
I mean, that's really just you know, a lot of
And like I said, we're talking a little bit over because they do ramble, but they do get into it.
Yeah.
even like
Hopefully, they're mentioning it's more casual and it's easier to get matches. I almost want them to just like throw all of their matchmaking algorithms out the window for this, at least for the beta test, and just see how that does. Just like whoever with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like get the queues, fast queues, you know?
That'd be interesting. Be a cool experiment. I mean, that's something they could do, a cool like weekend event for, like the downstate week.
the map is very tempting.
No map chat. Okay, this is the part we need to not talk over.
I hear that's what a lot of actually.
No, they talk about it later. Like they mention all the rules in like this one little block, so I'm trying to get us to not talk over that specifically.
I think it was right after they unmuted, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
There's a little bit of info before though, so I'm trying to be careful as well. There's also a chance we just didn't get all the rules because they did say Cal went over like 3 of them while he was muted.
But they're describing their iteration process. They don't have a hard timeline for this, which is also good because, no offense to Guild Wars 2 community, it's usually great, but whenever they promise something, they're like, oh, alliances! Who's promised? Can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of what they did for Stronghold, and this is incredible.
Oh, this is great. This is much.
Yeah.
I mean, they learn from it, right?
Yeah.
The new arena net, hopefully.
I mean, yeah, it's awesome. Not committing the resources until they know the concept is solid, people like it, and there's a player base around it. It's just how you
Right.
should do things.
Is there anything that I forgot to talk about?
It's interesting that, like, also they mentioned that this is a favorite internally, which means they probably have other prototypes that they've been, like, shooting around internally and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, is this fun? So this is the one that they were like, "Hey, let's try to push this out to the community." Oh, it's such an awful name. Please name it something else.
I'm sure that'll be big feedback, and we'll see what
Charge.
they choose. Charge is
Conquest
a
with
better
1
option.
point.
But how are you
Okay,
gonna
this
be
part they're
Pusha
muted.
Man? We gotta
I'm
make a
gonna what?
million Pusha Man characters right now. Get the stocks in early.
I think the title should be Beta Push Champion. Honestly.
That's true. This is a. I mean, maybe that's where they get the title from.
So this you get like an overview of the map. I mean, there's one for testing it, they went over it, and then there's one for getting top 250. They're talking a little bit now, and they reiterate what Roy has them muted for. This is not on our end. This is
Yeah.
I gotta keep it in because they show it fly over the map. There's 3-ish lanes that the capture point bounces between, and based on who is capturing it, it moves toward the other enemy spawn. And you would think that it would be
I'm hearing that
pretty easy, but
on a lot.
actually works pretty
We'll
well.
fix that momentarily. We're doing back to games. We haven't had audio. We'll have fun in a second.
See, everybody's got audio issues today. That's why. Blame
Yep.
Roy. He
Yeah.
muted my mic. It definitely didn't happen. Um, solid names in here. Honestly, they should just keep the map the way it is.
One technical issue.
Yeah.
I need more gems.
Are they here?
No. So we're all right, so guys. Wow, look at this map. We just got into this map. Very snowy. Looks beautiful. Awesome.
Yeah. First time here is a pretty cool map.
Yeah, the map is. We'll be able to put this down.
It also has tranquility.
Yes, so we got the red side, left side,
Sort of.
boxes. Quad, we got some jumping puzzle esque type spots on the side as well. Play.
Yeah, so the decals here on either side. Finish line. The hybrid mechanic with team and that'll really be hard to lay out flag decals on top of that. That's a note I've seen. The point kind of sideways first, that's just a great job. Just get the height right. Side. Capture point is a pretty standard capture point. It's because by essentially captures the phone and then will start moving one enemy at a time. Just allies. Simply accomplish. We want to make sure that we capture the there's also a kind of stacking familiar mechanic.
Yeah. Well, everyone just have to know keep stacking it. Make history from the beginning. Also, really with the anti-bunker mechanic. I want to make sure that for the beta is full of bunker build sessions. We aren't sure that that would be the best strategy, but we have the best possible path.
Very happy they thought of that.
Yeah, so the side objectives here, like I said, these are the Coliseum sword And then the center buff.
said a lot of things I usually. I mean, I listen.
You just zone out.
No, I listen a lot. So, but yes. Overtime,
Type in the comments if you listen to him or not.
If neither team reaches the finish line,
Yeah.
it'll be a time, then the game will not end immediately necessarily. The winning team is going to have to but if the losing team is the game will not end until the team takes back. So just but if you guys the Pushin P then the game and the tiebreaker
That's actually really cool. That's what we missed before.
and
Mhm.
the team barely gets past halfway. And one final mechanic to remember is that while you are catching up to the best course, which sometimes is the middle of the map where you have to go first, while you're kind of rubber banding back your furthest push, making perhaps just going back and forth.
I really like that. That's a very smart choice.
Probably enough talking. Why don't we just play the game?
Yeah.
Have fun and watch.
The talking is appreciated.
Yeah. Did we do a good job of listening that time?
No,
Guess we'll find out.
All right, so rate enjoy it. Just pay attention. This is the good one.
Demon Queen relic.
I would say so.
That is the core Necroterramancer build. I wouldn't say it's good, but it's not bad.
He's just playing stuff, man.
I mean, it's better. It's actually better into this meta. It's just there's nothing really meta in this match right here.
I say we start.
I mean, maybe they're on the preview. Okay.
I really like how fast this point moves. I gotta say, I thought it'd be so much grindier. It also, I
I
think,
almost think the map's too big.
yeah, it could be smaller. I really think making it smaller, faster, like that, just the map building alone could really decentivize a bunker comp if done right.
Try
And I
not to
think
talk
it's
about
most
the
working.
over the first bit of this here, but I
True,
agree.
true.
But if red team loses, does this mean the Taylor's build is in fact not good? Yeah, I mean that would probably be the most embarrassing thing any player's done on a live stream, right?
no,
Anyways, yeah. So Taylor, you should focus on your gameplay. Focus on your gameplay. Yeah, he's having some trouble.
But yeah, obviously this is like kind of one of the things that we were thinking about.
I actually love the cloud.
The cloud is awesome. That should be permanent.
The damage buffs don't spawn immediately.
I feel like it should be a happy cloud though.
Yeah, if it like turned happy after you push it a certain amount.
Hmm? But it's 10 minutes per game.
It's 15 in Conquest.
No, he's at it's 15 crap.
Yep, that makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. If they aim for like average 5 or 6, that'd be great. Especially if
Things
they
are
can keep
faster
queue
than the
times
queues.
under 2
Yeah.
or 3 minutes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that does matter. So once you capture it, there's no movement difference, so you can have one person escorting it.
Yeah.
But in order to actually capture it faster, although I thought they said it captured
No,
instantly.
they
I don't know.
said it doesn't. There is no difference in this game mode.
In moving it,
In
I
capping
guess we'll
it.
find out.
They just said in capping it, it makes no difference.
Okay, I believe you.
Great signal, like, I want to call that out. It's power.
Yeah, to be clear about these power and defense objectives, they give it to your whole team. In this mode, they don't give you a personal buff. In Eternal Coliseum, they give the stats to your whole team and a personal buff.
And you get and a personal buff and the stomp thing, or is the personal buff the stomp thing?
The personal buff in Coliseum is just like, yeah, it stomps people with swords and it revives you once if it's shield.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was even more damage. See, no one knows what anything does.
It is. It gives you offensive stats. Sword gives your whole team offensive stats. Shield gives your whole
Right.
team.
I thought it was
defensive.
like more for you, is what I was asking.
Oh no, not more for you.
One player does that.
All right, I know how alacrity works.
There's two ranks of players. One
I was so skeptical before we watched this, and like, it doesn't suck.
Yeah. No, they put a lot more thought into it than I thought compared to like how they talked about it in the blog post.
Especially, yeah, for something that came off as like, oh, this is super in alpha. It's
Yeah.
like in alpha for good reasons.
Yeah. No, it was a
It's
good
not an
amount of
alpha
work
for,
to
like-
put into this.
Yeah. At least thought put into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they put conceptual thought into it. They clearly like have done some internal testing, and I think they've resolved obvious issues with the game mode itself, just from internal testing, which is rare for them. Honestly, it's a huge improvement.
We see that much more we can mess around with, like, having this as well. We did have some early playtests early. Like when Apollos 2 has a like hard to beat sometimes. So we were trying to find the right balance between capture point speed and time speeds.
I like that a lot. Like they've made smart choices. I also like that it moves faster than you backpedal to teach people that backpedaling is bad in PvP. I'm seeing some of these devs backpedal.
Unbind your S key, people.
Yep.
I was going to say, I almost think that the sword objectives need to be really important.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's no shield objective.
I am worried that even though they have an anti-snowball and catch-up mechanic done really well, I'm worried that the buffs will be snowbally.
Maybe. Like, send your portal mesmers out there and get it.
Yeah.
I mean, that incentivizes side fights. But maybe that's bad for new people? Yeah, I guess maybe the sword shouldn't be super... I don't know. We'll find out. This is great.
I mean, I think that like Coliseum is the map that favors experienced players the most right now because of how the buffs work and because it's not obvious how they work. So that might make this better or worse. I don't know.
I love Coliseum. Yeah, you actually get bonus points in this game mode if you blame your team, even if you're winning.
For sure.
If typing in chat makes the things move faster.
Yeah.
Only team chat though.
I think the thing that worries me about the buffs, right? If your team's clearly better, you can like hold the 3v4 for long enough for your team to overwhelm the buff, and then that'll just make the team fight instantly won.
Maybe. They mentioned there's like little side things that stop it from moving too. So
Yeah, that's the one I like the most. That one's really smart. I don't know how I feel about the stat buff side buffs, but the snowball one is an incredibly smart choice.
you mean the anti-snowball one?
Yeah, the anti-snowball mechanic and the catch-up mechanic. Catch-up is what I meant. It's like
I was going
double
to say,
if you catch up.
aside from this has been one of my biggest complaints for PvP that um I don't know, people don't I feel like it's more of a macro game mode thing. So the middle objective just appeared, they capped it. That will give them, I think.
Stop the push. So I
Okay,
was saying
so
we can't
stops it.
I think they explain it a little later, unless they already did.
Yeah, I'm stupid, so I had to explain it to myself.
Yeah, I think the numbers they gave is like 20 if you're behind, 10 if you're ahead.
Yep. It's a fast 10 seconds.
There it goes. And they just said it again. 20 if you're behind, 10 if you're ahead. I like it. Finally, anti-snowball mechanic in PvP.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is a lot of the maps are good in PvP, but a lot of them don't have effective rubber band mechanics.
Yep.
So, which it's hard to craft the like balance of Razor's tension in like PvP games, especially group PvP games. But a lot of things like League people like, and it hits that dopamine thing, trigger, whatever you want to call it, is because there are rubber band mechanics, so you can come back.
Yeah.
In Guild Wars 2, I'm trying to think of like there's the one with the bell, there's Silent Storm.
Yeah,
like
Silent
it.
is maybe the only map that, if you're good, it can be a catch-up mechanic. It's usually just the most powerful snowball mechanic in the game. The bell is almost always a snowball mechanic. It's rare that you can catch up with it.
Well, it at least they're meaningful, so they
Yeah.
affect how you play.
Yes, they do change. Like, the strategy for those maps is very different because of them, but it's frustrating how much they benefit snowballing more than catching up. Because, like, they're pretty bad for catching up because you have to full commit to them, which means you have less ability to
Right,
hold
and
the
if-
other nodes if you're already losing your 1v1s.
Right, and if you're already losing, half your team's dead usually, and those come up, and you're just losing.
Yeah, and experienced players will time it to, like, full team wipe you right before they come up often.
Or at least know to try to do that.
Yep.
I wonder if the get a kill, rally your team thing is in this. It probably is.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, Rally
I hate
Wars, I
that.
think, are a pretty huge part of Guild Wars PvP.
I hate that. I think it should rally one person like World vs. World.
Yeah.
That's a different discussion entirely. That's a macro PvP game mode discussion.
Yeah. I mean, that's like either the curse or the saving grace of this game. I think so far it's been a curse. I think it could be something that keeps it casual, but doesn't end up being that way usually.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
that
that
one
is
went
why
to
I think-
time. Red team won.
Yep. I do think that's why like res signets, res utilities, glyphs will be really good in this game mode.
Fort cooldown, res utilities. That's actually an interesting discussion with Relic of Rivers' art. Sorry we're talking over this a little bit, but they're just talking about like setup and stuff. We're trying to not talk about like I'll link the actual raw VOD so people can just go watch it without us rambling over it. But that's true. Cal Cohan has never played this video game. He actually is pretty good, but like that's an interesting discussion with Relic of Rivers as well, because a lot of those res utilities and the stomp utilities are balanced around long cooldowns, especially like Banner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing where it's like, oh, I can just res my team every 40 seconds instead of 60 or whatever now.
Yeah, as very few people believe in the druid, but the druid res glyph with
Oh, it's really good.
Rivers is really
It's
good.
really, really good. Yeah. And if you can fit the res thing, whatever it's called, command, which you can't, but oh well. Yeah, they're good. Oh yeah, the Signet or Glyph of the Stars, they buffed that. They changed it like 3 years ago. I looked at it and went, "This is nuts,"
Yeah.
and no one ran it for like 2 years. And
Yeah.
I was like, just running it around in World versus World because it originally hit 10 people, and just like stealthing myself and rezzing entire Zergs like
Yeah.
off to the side.
It's so good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it should be the original glyph that was there. It was, and then people didn't know how to use it, so they moved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Druid's an interesting place right now because it's definitely outclassed by every other support, but that glyph I think puts it in the conversation.
It's got different stuff. I actually like that a lot.
This map was not built
Yeah, it's growing on me.
Yeah, we'll see if the moving capture point moving to the side stays. But
I doubt it will, but it also might.
well, he's saying it was built on top of an
Yeah.
old map, so
I mean, the layout of the
Change.
new map is probably going to be very different. Hopefully smaller.
Hot take, it shouldn't be an ice map,
Definitely not.
especially going into winter.
I mean, they probably do some sort of Janthier style thing to hype up the modern X-Back, right?
Like, what's the first thing?
Beach push game mode. Everybody mandatory swimsuits.
Oh, beach ball? Wait, that's actually
Yeah.
the perfect aesthetic for this. You just hit gold.
Yeah.
Beach ball and Super Adventure Cloud. We get 2 maps. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of
They're talking about side objectives a little bit now, is why we got up.
so we can investigate things there. Because we can well, we could play around with, like,
This build is so janky because of that.
power up the side moves with, you know, a larger damage buffs.
What if the side buffs are like Guardian?
I think the stream just got out. Go back.
I actually don't mind that idea.
Wait a minute, Taylor's team.
I mean, if they're less powerful than they are in Stronghold, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like not to. I like the idea of having them there for you to kill like the bosses in whatever that map is. Forest.
Maybe, I understand why maybe they weren't, because this is supposed to be an intro map, so having to solo a beast to get an objective probably isn't, as opposed to go up and press F to
Yeah.
help your team, maybe isn't the best thing for a new person.
Yeah, it's definitely less good for intro, but it also. I mean, I don't know. I like Forest is a very good test for a new player.
Because so much of this here it's like over dedicated to
What I like is, as long as you seem like you're doing something in this, you're helping.
Yeah.
As opposed to Conquest, where you can think you're helping and you're rotating completely incorrectly, or just feeding into a point and dying over and over that they have, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a very good
Where
point.
you think you're helping and you think you're taking fights and holding your lane, but you're just, because of how the capture the flag game mode works, King of the Hill, it just doesn't.
Yeah. I do think like this should especially help teach people that fighting on point isn't everything, and dying for the point or AFKing on the point while I watch your friends die off node
You
is
would think
not
that.
good. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It does look like just the setup of how this point moves. Your impact, your personal impact should be a little clearer.
Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but I'm optimistic as well. Lead a horse to water, but you can't make it fight on the point.
Mhm.
You know how the saying goes. I feel like this map almost should have no downstate.
Yeah.
Actually thinking about it, because I feel like bleeding people is going to be like, what if you just get the entire team into downstate and then just, you know, they're not rangers and you just leave them?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's
What's the
why
point?
I think the counter to that will be at least one person with the res glyph, right?
That's true. As long as somebody gets in the point, it's contested.
Yeah.
Are there any sort of considerations for
Ellie meta, you can move in downstate.
We talked over them a little bit, but I think they're just being way too optimistic about the build diversity they think will be here.
I mean, you say that again. We brought this up a little bit before the stream, where they say basically they think that build diversity will be a little bit different than it is in Conquest.
Yeah.
And I originally was just like, oh, you 5-stack Scourges. And then we kept thinking of stuff that might be useful. So people will be trying stuff at least. And
Yeah,
that's why
I
this is
think
an alpha.
the first day we'll definitely see people try like 2 warriors, 2 chronomancers, and like a thief or some other fast mobile thing to cap early. But I do think there is like a dragon hunter that like sets traps ahead of where people are, and has like a bomb at a choke point that could be really good. Like res signets will be really good, and they're not great in conquest right now. I do think there's definitely going to be a meta that forms around this, and there should be for it to be healthy. But yeah, I think in the beginning people just try to do whatever's the strongest team fight.
Wait, hold on. They're saying stuff about rank
Can
queues.
play I mentioned this at some point in the past. The goal is not to win this battle. That's even more maybe not. Maybe there's like that's a little large. They reception and give the game time to make them alive. Right in tournaments. Then, there's a very high demand in some crazy world where everyone just stops playing That's the bad. It's not something we're expecting, but it does. So if that happens, but for right now, our expectation is outside of this team kind of the best way to go. It's kind of a game that I like.
I do love their mindset
Okay,
here.
so
And these teams.
yeah,
I
won't
usually-
replace Conquest for right now, at least.
I do
And
think the
this probably
test
won't
of
come out for a while.
the test of any new game mode in this game
Yeah,
will
too,
be.
I
I think people are looking for something to replace Conquest. I don't think like the hardcore Conquest player will want that, but I think a lot of casual players have been wanting something new that they like more than Conquest. I don't know if
Yeah,
that'll
man.
ever kill Conquest, but I do think if it's good, it will be more popular than Conquest.
Options are nice.
But,
We accidentally played a Stronghold match, and I enjoyed it, even though we lost the other day.
I mean, Stronghold, it hurts me because it had
We talk about
potential.
it later.
Great experience.
It was developed in the wrong order.
Yes. I mean, yeah, if it was developed like this, it'd be very healthy. This might not even exist now because it's so healthy.
Taylor tagged the down person who was rezzing. That was good. Kind of a god. Nope.
Yeah, see, like, that's the thing about bleeding someone. I mean, you should know it's a Guardian and they have the res
gonna
self-res
say,
thing, but if you leave someone, you gotta leave someone bleeding at like 20% health. You leave them bleeding that high, anyone can just run in and res them.
Like, look at my stats.
Adding the meter just thinks that's all that matters. Play for the objective, man. You're the neck in the fastest spec.
I told you, yelling at your team gives you bonus points.
Yep. In every game mode.
It's cool. I like that there's little kiting spots just for fun. Probably won't stay, but
And I didn't know that was actually passed.
Yeah, I do think this is a good team to implement something like this with this strategy. I have high hopes.
I think that's what most people
so the point seems to do like a zigzag. Arrows. Arrows on what route the thing would take, probably.
I tried throwing up.
Like non-collision flashing arrows,
Guys,
mobile game style.
I love that the team fight just got distracted over there.
No one contested him. Quick, teleport.
I think they're just letting him finish it to show it off.
He just can't get there in time. Blue team.
That also could be true.
There it is.
The way the first match ended made me a little sad because I don't know how much I like it just straight ending if it's contested the moment the timer's up.
I will say, you can't see the chat. I didn't leak it. Crouch did say.
Feels a little
if
underwhelming.
Red Team doesn't let them start. So, but it still looked pretty good. It still looked pretty good.
I do kind of like that this has a built-in like ego check of like letting people do the full finish versus just like a contesting finish.
It also has a surrender mechanic because the team just gives up and then you push it to the end. The game ends.
AFKing strat more powerful than ever.
Oh, AFK matches, people. I got a pop filter.
This is not. It's a very, very rough draft. Side 5. So yeah, make sure to play the beta. Make sure to get something back. Enjoy it. That's good feedback to know too. As long as you tell us why.
Like, actually, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be. Taylor, as the first ever official push playtester, how'd you
Well, I
feel?
was also one of the first victors.
You were the first victor, although I will say you won with timer. Crouch won because he pushed better. So
That is true.
Yeah.
Have to hand it out.
yeah.
But you know, it's definitely a fun game mode. I would say. You know, a lot of team fight oriented builds play here that maybe you couldn't in Conquest. Like this game mode will have a lot different build variety than you'll see over there. I think it's really fun. A lot of variety.
I think this is a game mode where you could very well see two supports, which is never a good idea in Conquest.
And then you're doing that correctly basically. It's very easy to get into.
Great. Okay, well, I think we can probably wrap things up. There's really not much else to talk about our show. It was a relatively short stream, but yeah, we got the point across. Obviously, thank you for playing, Taylor. A shout out to all of our other developer friends for coming and playing and showing off the world on stream. Yeah, data coming out next week. Make sure to get in there. Now, any final words? I guess I'll give you like a 10-minute timer.
So do we have any questions?
Oh, we're not reading the chat. That's
They should read the chat. That's what they should do.
Why do they hate
Great
chat so much?
idea.
We've said it a million times, but I'll just say it again because it's kind of the whole point. Very little here is locked in. They're going to
I
be
actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so
4
happy
times.
they're doing that
probably
and reiterating it.
like how this game might change. Just that, you know, going in like a slightly different direction.
Now I guess it's more of a matter of who they listen to.
This is the earliest we have ever shipped like I'm saying realistically,
Again,
like, probably any
Thank you
console
for doing this. Thank you for just trying stuff
Yes.
before you invest like thousands and
this
thousands of
is
development dollars
very
into
much-
it.
Yeah,
Right.
I really appreciate
Hopefully,
it.
but it's
but
like
I'm
it
optimistic.
is
Same.
intended to be something that is not published, not final, not iterated on a whole lot. You're gonna say it's an internal
Like Bladesworn. Ah, I got one.
Yeah.
Gotta turn the chip over on my
It is
desk.
very much. We think this is a cool idea. We played around with it. There's nothing really that we think it's a cool idea. We want to see what the players think before we devote a ton of resources into giving all the things that the game wants. And we're honestly pretty excited to see the result of this process because kind of the one existing data point that we have is Stronghold, which kind of went the opposite
said
direction.
yes.
I'm going to talk about Stronghold a little bit. I talked about
Let's
it.
talk about it.
But Stronghold is an example of the entire game mode was built and polished and iterated on internally before it's even saw data. And obviously the map was complete. All of the art was complete. It was very much in a
And the
state
map itself is good.
It was as
Yeah.
finished as it was supposed to be.
And it would be a really good GVG map
You mentioned it would be a great GVG map.
It
Mhm.
was essentially a fundamental
with no changes.
merchant of everything. And, you know, I don't want to talk about Stronghold
I was surprised by the 10% number
ice
they
strategy
threw out in the blog
process
post.
so much early that we can get the mechanics in front of players, get them playing it, figure out what's wrong, make them better, make it
Figure
a
out
game
what's
where
right.
players will want to play, and then polish it up each year. And I think internally we're excited about what that process is going to look like and the opportunity that it kind of gives us to ship things that are
It's almost what they're doing with elite
and
specs.
just get feedback on the underlying mechanics. That is probably the most important thing. I mean, I'm biased, but I'd play on a flat plane with development outcomes.
They're like Halo Forge all over again.
Wow, only 3 minutes. That was pretty impressive. Taylor, any final words?
I have faith in them. They can ramble for another 5.
I can say the
Not
for the
weekend.
win, if you want me to.
I did?
It's actually my win.
That's funny. That's cute. Pretty sure I was doing the stream before you, but okay. Well
Let's
then,
go.
I guess that means that I will wrap it up since Taylor, is just too
Ooh, I
tired.
can do something else. I can talk
Oh,
about
okay.
that.
Yeah,
Real quick.
classic.
Like
classic.
I introduced it by saying leak.
We are doing balance preview.
What?
Heck yeah.
There's gonna be a
Love
balance
that.
patch?
I'm so
During
excited.
the stream?
That's all I'll say.
Balance
I'm-
pre-alpha too, or preview at least.
Got some good stuff cooked up for that stream, but alright. Thank you very much for watching.
No, it's next Friday, so it'll come after.
We talked about that. So look forward to the Tournament of Legends.
TOL.
I think that's everything.
Was that everything? Was it
All
really?
right. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out the beta for Push, the PvP game mode coming out next week. Give us your feedback all over the place. We will see it. We will read it. We will analyze it. And yes, until next time.
See you in a minute. Yeah.
I feel like Taylor
that's
should have
awesome.
just cut him off and been like, you know, mine. No, I'm super optimistic about what we just watched. I think they're doing it in the right order this time. Where I've been a huge proponent of, I know I've said this a million times, but ArenaNet needs to just try stuff because it's one of the 2 MMOs that isn't WoW that still exists. And no one knows, like, it just still exists and it's good because it doesn't hate you. So in not hating you, they have the room now to be like, hey, what do the players playing our game want?
Yeah.
See if it works. And if everyone hates this, then it'll probably go away. And if everyone doesn't hate it, they might iterate on it.
I mean,
But at least they're not sinking hundreds of thousands of development dollars into it for
exactly.
nothing.
And I think with the age of this MMO, like that's the exact strategy it needs. There's a good reason why OSRS is as popular as it is, and I think as good as the game is, it's mostly because of the player feedback and how they implement new features.
Yeah. So that's our 3 cents on this. I'm sure we'll talk about it more. Go try the beta. It's coming up on the 10th, so this coming Tuesday. He said it will run for 2 weeks, according to Cal, and there will be a balance patch preview stream. No idea when we're getting that, but next Friday maybe we'll get some more info on that in the coming week. I'm stoked. Always balance patches are my favorite thing, even if they dumpster all my classes. So, even if they nerf literally everything, we'll see. Game kind of needs it, but yeah, this looks sick. Again, ArenaNet, very good job. At least just communicating and trying stuff. That's great. New ArenaNet to see. I think it's really interesting. I will have it linked in the description as well. They have they put the forum thread for this up before they debuted anything, and it already had 3 pages of comments, and now I'll refresh it 2 hours later, and it's probably got 17 or something. Let's go to the last page. I'm just curious. Nope, still only 3. Maybe they locked it. Who knows? Go check it out. Go give your feedback when the game load is live, hopefully. Glad people aren't giving feedback on this. Whatever. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I do want to say, I think this game mode they made actually might be an incredible way to give them data on teamfight balance, to really show them what's overtuned in a teamfight, because I think it's very hard to tell in Conquest and War vs. World. So it could be a really good thing for War vs. World and Conquest balance going forwards that this exists, to really give them a nice sort of telescope to focus on what's happening in a team fight, what's overtuned, what's undertuned, and really,
or even what's unhealthy and
Yeah.
people aren't enjoying.
Exactly. Yeah, just like what's fun. I think this game mode could be incredible for balance. Even if it doesn't exist in this form, just the beta test, I think will shine a really good light on balance.
I'm stoked. Yeah, I think that's all we got. I'm Pseudo. This is Sea Monster. Check him out. He streams Homesteads. I stream complaining about Bladesworn and balance news and stuff. Have that linked in the description as well. Got a bunch of stuff to link. But yeah, Guild Wars 2. Good time to play it. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, it's fine.
I will see you guys in Tyria.
See you in Tyria.
Peace out. Sick. Didn't suck that time.
Let me end this stream as well.